Get your copy of Fire. It's definitely a must-read. If you enjoy hood books, this one is it. Just like the title of the book, it's officially Fire. Get it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle.
Peace. This is The Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. We're back for the continuation, part 2 of BET's Black Men's Vomit with my brother T. Riggles. We have arrived at the moment that I guess people are waiting for with the selection where they're going to choose a president. And we're going to wait and see what happens, see who they choose. The people seem to think that they're choosing the president. And I beg to differ that they're actually choosing the president. And before we get started, I would like my brother T. Riggles to tell me what you think. Do you think that the people are choosing the president this election season, brother?
Thanks for having me on, Brother Nasir, once again.
Yes, sir.
I really do appreciate it. And, through my little journey here, learning how the world works, they've already selected the president already, especially when we speak about voting. They get the popular vote, and then they have their vote. With these orders that happen behind the scenes that most people aren't aware of, they'll delegate, and they've already chosen. As you can see, they've already made some type of mistake early, already saying Kamala's already won. I'm not saying that she's going to, but that is just showing everyone that we've already selected. We don't care what you think, honestly.
Yes, sir. I agree, brother. My sentiment is I was sitting back pondering all of this and thinking about how the United States and the multinational, corporations, how they influence and sway elections, and how they set up puppet regimes and puppet governments. And I'm like, well, if they do that abroad, they are not, you can't put them past doing it here in the United States. And if the people think that they're electing a president, they really need to consider who these people are. The Trilateral Commission, the multinational conglomerates and everything. They want the people to think that they're in power and they actually did something when they didn't. And what the people are really doing is, serving to their own detriment. And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go out and say on a limb and say that the people are not electing a president. And it has to be somebody they can control. Peace to my brother Big Dog Philly OG. Peace to my brother Black Wild Indian. Salute to you, brothers. I appreciate you for joining. And appreciate everybody. I know my wife's watching. I appreciate you watching. Mrs. The Enemy's Public. I appreciate it. But the only one I can see being controlled, Brother T. Riggles, is a Kamala Harris. That's the only one I can see them controlling. And it's not that if she won, I don't want people who voted for her to say we did it. No, you didn't do it. They chose her because that's who they wanted. My brother Cuban Crisis, peace, salute, family. Milestone Thoughts, peace, salute. Thank you for joining. What do you think, Brother T. Riggles?
Well, just in case, just for a heads up, if they play around with my thing here, I would say this, that it's obvious that Trump is a threat to whatever this shadow government or whatever you might call it. Something is going on.
Yes.
I haven't seen someone get attacked like this in the public eye, whether it's a game or not. Everyone's playing their role. And so far, if Trump pulls this off, I guess the so-called hammer is going to be put down.
Yeah, there's been plenty of threats with what's going to happen if whoever win. That's been, people been saying that all day, putting it on social media or what have you. But we'll wait and see. That's a wait and see thing. Peace to Marco Power, salute, brother. Our people shouldn't concern ourselves with none of this because it's not our concern. But a lot of our people are invested in this. They're investing, really, it's all energy. That's what it is. It's energy. They're lending their energy to this by going out and casting a vote that don't count for the electoral college to go and undermine what millions of people did today and still are doing, more than likely on your coast. You know what I'm saying? More than likely on your coast. They're going to undermine it. And they have undermined it. No matter which way the election goes, the votes are being and have been undermined by the electoral college. And our people who lend their energy to this is not really seeing what's going on. And some of our people are trying to sway our people into casting a vote left or right when they really don't have a vested interest in the United States government and their election. Now, we're going to go to, but before we go to the summit, what we call the vomit, did you hear how Donald Trump was speaking about how crooked the government is and how wicked the government is?
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard him speaking, I said, wow, he's actually, as a candidate for the highest office in the land, he's speaking out against the wickedness of the government that he wants to be in charge of. I've never heard that in all of my life. I've never heard that in all of my life, that a candidate for the president of the United States speaks out against how wicked the system is. That's the sign of a man that cannot be controlled. That's a sign of a man who's not going to do business as usual. It doesn't sound like that type of man. Greetings to Sharon Walker. Thanks for tapping in, sis. Peace and power to my brother, Key Norfolk. Thanks for tapping in. And my sentiment is, I may be wrong, but I'm still going to say what my sentiment is. My sentiment is that they're going to choose her. She's not, between the two, she's not the competent one. She's not. Not to say he is competent. I said between the two of them, she's not the competent one. Donald Trump can be real funny and childish. Some of the things he say, you look at a 70-plus-year-old man saying some of the things he say, and some of the things he say is like, sounds like something that a child would say, but he say it as a grown-ass man. He is funny. Nothing charismatic about him. Nothing at all. But he's still the more competent one between Harris and himself. You know, I'll land right there for now, brother. I want to hear what my brother T. Riggles has to say before we get to the video. They keep kicking the brother out this evening. And I'm going to start the video, and we're going to have one of them those evenings, brother T. Riggles.
Man. Man.
We're going to have
you
one
already
of
know
them
how
evenings.
this goes.
Yeah. They said, well, I guess they didn't know what we were going to do the first time. And they said, well, we got something for their ass Tuesday evening.
Facts.
Well, I'm going to, before we cut to the video, you know, if you have anything to add, brother, go right ahead, take your time and say whatever you have to say before we get to the video.
You know, I did a little homework, you know, read some more articles, and And the thing that I went wrong right here, Enemies Public, is that I watched Orlando Brown and the Ray J interview. And so with me saying that, you know, I want all the brothers to know that's at the summit, that, you know, we still love you. You know, I'm going to come at this with compassion and empathy, and to say that it's not your fault. You know, we all make decisions. Some of those decisions in life can be vital. You know, you can make a left when you were supposed to make a right. And so I come at this with nothing but love, Enemies Public, you know, and I feel sorry for the brothers that, you know, who were paid, you know, to spit this rhetoric.
Yes, sir.
You know, so, you know, I want to come at this with a lot of compassion, you feel me, and have empathy, because, you know, we don't pay each other bills. So I get it. You know, I get it, but, you know, we got to call out some of this buffoonery that we're seeing.
Yes, sir.
And I land right there.
Yes, sir. Peace to my brother Bronx, Flat Power God. Thanks for tapping in. Salute to you. And we're going to get to while we're here. You know, we're going to tap in where we left off, brother, with the vomit.
In the bathroom is what I want to know. I got to see what's happening. If that's the device, whatever we do to live in the bathroom, it must be a good credit score in there or something. But coming up, we're going to dig into VP Harris's opportunity agenda for Black men. More Black Men Summit coming right up. Y'all stay tuned.
This idea that we were doing better under President Trump, I, again, didn't experience that.
The stimulus checks, to locking people up for selling weed. These are the street topics that's happening. That's all I keep hearing.
Actually, it's Black men who helped craft this opportunity economy, because the vice president didn't want to talk about Black men or talk down to Black men. She wanted to listen to us.
A woman who listens? What?
Stay with us. The BET Black Men Summit will continue in a moment. Welcome back to the BET Black Men's Summit.
Let me pause that and put the banner up, because
I was about to say that.
For obvious reasons. You know what I'm saying? Because of let me put the fair use in, and then put the banner up, because I don't want them to mess with the stream, because we're I want to double down on that, and then put the banner up, because I don't want them trying to pause the stream or nothing. So we're gonna get back to this. See, that's all D.L. Hughley can do, brother T. Riggles, is joke about everything, make a joke about everything when everything's not funny. You see how serious of matter they say it is, but he finds times to joke.
That part. You know, it's
Go ahead, good brother.
It's I guess
Black Men Summit. We have the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Nevada Congressman Steve Horsford. He's here. Entrepreneur and CEO of The Gathering Spot, Ryan Wilson, is joining us. And of course, legendary producer JD, Jermaine Dupree, is here. But first, we're going to start by hearing directly from black men about the election. Our special correspondent, Kenny Burns, hit the streets of Atlanta. We're going to roll the tape.
It is your lifestyle specialist, Kenny Burns, reporting live from Atlanta, Georgia. And if you don't know, Georgia is a swing state, and we're here to find out what black men want most in this election. And never forget, the South got something to say. What matters most in the 2024 presidential election to you?
I mean, I think everybody got money on their mind.
The focus around mental health.
What about the border that she let run loose?
The immigration stuff, the negative stuff about immigration and just whose fault it is.
The economy, of course, you know.
I feel as though a lot of black men tend to think that Donald Trump is better for the economy. What do you say to that?
I've heard that, but what I've seen is that Donald Trump, he's a gangster, but he's presented himself as a successful businessman who's filed for bankruptcy 6 times.
Inflation, definitely inflation.
I see that as this is going on, you're starting to see a diminish of middle class, and it's either lower or upper class. They're having to say, well, let me take a backseat on my wellness so I can pay my mortgage this month. I can pay my rent. I can feed my kids.
The percentages that we were seeing increases in our groceries and in our bills was higher than inflation. And so I think that it's created an opportunity for us to be taken advantage of.
And I think to the Trump point, people got that stimulus check and just thought that was all his job, and that's what they're clapping about. But it's way deeper than that.
The stimulus checks are not coming back.
If we are empowered economically, then we can shift so many of our outcomes.
What would you tell those brothers and sisters who are undecided but need to be going to the polls?
What other choice do you have right now?
Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice.
Okay, he said, what other choice do we have? Is there another, brother, is there another choice? Do we have another choice besides going to the polls?
Oh, yes, we do have a choice, you know, and that's not going. How about that? You know, before they cut me off again, what happens if everyone voted Democrat or everyone voted Republican? What would happen if everyone did that?
And you know, that's the crazy part. The question he asks, what other choice do we have? As if when it comes to us, our livelihood, our very lives, the only choices that we have is to wait and look for a benevolent politician to save us as a people. And these are men talking like this. Men. I would rather organize as a people. That's what I would rather do. Organize as a people and empower ourselves. But some of our brothers think that a politician is going to be the one, or they're waiting for them to do something, to actually do something for us. A politician. And they can actually trust that, and it's always wait till the next time, wait till the next term. We always fall for that wait till the next term, and then the next term come and go, and it's the same thing. Now we have arrived to the fork in the road, the valley of decision when it comes to this election process. And it's probably going to take a few days for them to decide, to make it seem like they're counting something. But they already have who they selected. You know, I think it was ABC made a mistake and broadcasted that Kamala Harris won. They made a mistake and broadcasted it prematurely the other day. I'm not saying that she's going to win because I can't predetermine it. I'm not going to make a mistake and say I know what these people are going to do because I don't. But all I can say is emphatically that the people didn't do it. I can say that much. They're not going to do it. I mean, you know, for them to utter what else do we have to do, what other choice we have, it's like putting our lives in other people's hands. Crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you were talking, brother?
No, I said I was agreeing with you. It's crazy. And tonight, I think we might break a record for me being cut off. Right now, we're running at 5. So the record is 17 on the stream. So let's see how this is going to go.
Yes, sir. Hopefully that the last time was it. Hopefully.
All right, we are back, and of course, Kenny Burns was here with us. That was a dope little piece, man. I appreciate it. The federal minimum wage has remained at $7.25 since around 2009, and it seems like the economy is on a lot of people's mind. Obviously, they even have a book. It's "The Economy Stupid." So, how do you speak to that? What do you hear?
I really feel that, you know, it's heavy on our minds because Atlanta is a opportunity economic city. Sure. We all came here. If you're not born and raised here, originally I came to go to school, but I stayed and started a business. I stayed and raised my family. I have a 20-year-old and a 24-year-old who will be, you know, exiting college soon and getting into the workforce. And the big thing on people's mind is how are we going to take care of our families and how are we going to encourage our kids to start families? So right. Economics is very important.
You know, we talked about this. I mentioned this in the question I posed. I remember 40-some years ago, I worked at McDonald's. I made $2.65 an hour. And 46 years later, the minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. So we can't have a conversation about just inflation without the commensurate wage growth. Now, Jermaine Dupree, you've heard this a lot, that things were better under Trump. I've heard it a lot. How widespread do you believe that is?
I don't believe that.
No, I'm saying, but it is a pervasive. It is a pervasive attitude.
Yeah. No, I mean, I represent. Oh, I don't represent, but I'm here to speak to the YDS generation.
Sure.
That's the young, dumb, and stupid kids that's out there, right? And they have this.
Well, they are. That's crazy.
That's what it is. They have this in their mind, right, that, you know, as Newface said on the video, the stimulus checks, they're paying attention to things like that, and they're not hearing the information that needs to be heard.
Right.
Now, there's grown men on some of these platforms speaking about the stimulus checks and saying, I'm voting for Trump because he's giving out $1,500. I'm voting for Trump. I'm a Trumper. Selling themselves that cheap. $1,500 that Trump gave people as a stimulus check. $1,500 cannot stimulate my pockets or anything that I do. But some of these Negroes that is among us, we have to watch them. If they would sell themselves cheap, you don't have a chance if they would sell themselves that cheap. What chance do you have being among somebody like that? You know, it's shameful that people will talk about stimulus checks, and that's the reason why they will vote for someone. Not, the opportunity to earn altogether, but somebody giving you something like a little small, I won't even necessarily call it a lump sum, because $1,500, that's not a lump at all. It's a little, it's flat $1,500, unless you get it in ones. but some of us are for sale. And the people on this platform, at the vomit is they probably got paid in the thousands. Some of them. But for somebody to say that they will vote for Trump because he's giving them $1,500, wow, that's like that's ridiculous because you're being ridiculed. It's ridiculous that somebody would sell their whole, virtue for such little bit of money. What do you think, my brother?
Yeah, it's a shame.
But they want to be called the personification of manhood with that mindset. That's not a display of manhood with that mindset. Being bought that cheap, being bought at all, but being bought cheap is even worse.
The stimulus checks, to locking people up for selling weed. Right. These are the street topics that's happening. Sure. That's all I keep hearing from. Sure. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's really important that we as men in this room we give them the facts today. But
there was a specific reason that Donald Trump, even though he didn't get those checks out, there was a specific reason he delayed them so he could put his name on it. He knew it would have that effect. Right. He knew who it would meet. And Congressman Horsford, what do you say to black men who do say the economy was better under Trump? Because I hate when somebody tells me, like, if I go somewhere and it's hot, they go, but it's a dry heat. I'm still hot. Yeah. You can't tell people how to feel. Right. We can tell them about the metrics, but it is a pervasive attitude that the economy was better.
So look, a couple things. I'm from Vegas, so I do know dry heat. Yes, you do. But I also know a liar when I see one. And Donald Trump lied about providing economic opportunity for Black America. In fact, it was Donald Trump who asked Black America, what do you have to lose? And then when he got into office, he appointed Supreme Court justices that showed us what we had to lose by taking away our fundamental rights. Now, on the stimulus check, let me just get the fact out. Democrats in Congress were in the majority. We passed the bill that provided the relief, not only for households through the stimulus check, but also the child tax credit that lifted 50% of Black children out of poverty. When the Republicans got back into the majority, they did not extend that benefit, so those children went right back into poverty. We helped small businesses get the support to keep their businesses open and to provide employee retention tax credit so that employees would stay on the job. Right. It was about people and saving lives. And
the problem I have with this, there's no one present to argue. There's no one present to rebuke anything. It's everybody on the same side. Why is there a conversation? It's like everybody gets their chance to convince somebody of something. No opposing view, nobody to challenge none of them about what they're saying. That's the problem I have with this. That's why I call it a vomit. Everybody's regurgitating the same damn thing and nobody's there to challenge them. It's easy for them to say all this when nobody's there to point out an opposing view. This is actually senseless for them to get together and call this a summit and everybody's on the same. If you're already on the same page, Why are we having this display? It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense.
Makes no sense at all. And right now we're at 8. So I would say when it comes down to Trump and the HB,
don't tell me they kicked the brother out again. Yeah, we're gonna have one of those evenings with the brother T. Riggles. It's you know, this is ridiculous how everybody's getting up here saying the same exact thing in a different way, trying to convince us that, or trying to convince men that they should vote, not just vote, but vote democratically. It makes no sense.
Donald Trump did not do that. And I'm tired of talking about the last 4 years. I'm more concerned about what Donald Trump will do the next 4 years if he gets a chance to be the president. And we can't let that happen.
But it's very shrewd in a way, because people are simplistic. It's the things you can say. It's the things you can repeat. And it's always funny when they talk about, today, I guess he was saying how low the unemployment rate. It's weird for black people to hear unemployment.
Brother, you had something to add. I know you were talking as you was rudely interrupted.
Yeah, the Trump signed off on an annual fund for all the black colleges to receive money no matter what. Each year they would have to go to the White House and beg for the money. But Trump signed something that you don't have to come back every year. So, and Trump signed off on that. So what are you saying?
I remember that.
Like, so what are you saying, that Trump hasn't done anything for brothers per se? I mean, come on now. Let's stop playing games with it. But yeah.
Because it was pretty low during slavery. That wasn't that great. That's not a great marker. We was brought here to work, so thanks, pal. That's not the same thing. We have Charles Phillips. Charles Phillips is a business leader also. He works closely with VP on the economic proposals. Why should black men not hold the Biden-Harris administration responsible for inflation? Why should that not be a real thing? You look like Obama. You know that, right? You do.
Yeah, I do. No, first of all, I'm older than him. He looks like me.
Why shouldn't they be held responsible for inflation?
It's a fair question, and I think you have to put the Trump economy in context. That was the Obama economy he inherited. So I served on the Obama Economic Recovery Board during the financial crisis. He had to fix something, economy that was tanking. He fixed it, handed it off to Trump. It was growing 2.4%, generating about 210,000 jobs a month. Trump had to do nothing but not screw it up and leave it alone. That first 3 years, that kind of worked, and then COVID hit. COVID wasn't Trump's fault, it wasn't Biden's fault, but that was the beginning of inflation. What happened was we got all the stimulus checks, we all spent all that, but that meant that caused inflation because we're all buying in the grocery stores, couldn't go to restaurants, so we're buying the same goods. People stopped working because for the first time they could take off for a while. That raises labor costs. To get people off the bench to work, you got to pay them more money. And then other things happen. The Ukraine war, that makes oil prices go up. Biggest producer of grain in the world, Ukraine, grain prices go up. All this stuff is happening at once. But that last year, all that started under Trump. So what did he do? Did the stimulus checks, which made sense because you have to save people. People had to eat. But then it accelerated under Biden because it takes 3 or 4 years to work through the economy. That's already happened. That's behind us. What's happened now is inflation has come down. It was at 9% when he started. It's at 2.5% now. We're getting better. We just need to keep doing what we're doing now. That's exactly what VP Harris plans to do. Continue to the plan that's in place right now.
Okay, thank you, man.
Thanks.
We have. We have Ryan Wilson now. You're an entrepreneur also, and there is, and we've talked about this a lot. There is the belief that the economy was better under Trump, and it plays itself out. On my radio show, I hear it so much. I started to believe it, and I know better. I'm like, wait a minute, you can lie to me, and I'm feeling like you were telling the truth. Why is that so pervasive? And they truly believe it. It's not something that they're kind of just repeating by rote.
I mean, I think it's important to note that prices were lower during the Trump presidency, but an important point has already come out in this conversation. President Trump inherited the Obama economy, right? Like that is just something that we have to put on the table that happened. He inherited what the previous administration had done to make sure that the economy was in a good position when he started. Now, if you fast forward, many of the businesses that I serve at the Gathering Spot, when I think about what we were talking about during the Trump presidency, those conversations were not positive, right? So I don't remember this magical time period when everyone was doing well. We were still talking about access to capital being tough to find. We were still talking about trying to figure out ways to grow and scale our businesses. None of those fundamentals changed throughout the Trump presidency. And to the idea of having a plan, I never saw President Trump produce a plan while we were going through that time period. When COVID hit and we were in the middle of just very, very tough circumstances, what I watched happen were businesses in the community close. So this idea that we were doing better under President Trump, I, again, didn't experience that. And many of the folks that I serve every single day certainly will tell you that that was a very difficult time period.
The interesting thing about leadership is we can't, to your point, we can't tell what's going to happen. But every president is challenged in some way. Correct. And is the measure of that presidency.
And also every president inherit the last president's economy. They act like they're saying something, slick about saying that it was inherited from Trump or it was inherited from Obama. Every president inherits an economy. What they do with their economy, is the issue, whether it's debt or whether it's a deficit or a surplus. We haven't been in a surplus in a long time. We haven't been in a surplus since George W. Bush came into the office. The last time we had a surplus was under Bill Clinton. So last time the United States had a surplus. Meaning that, we didn't owe no damn body. And guess who, when there is a deficit, who is owed? The people who make the funny money, the fiat money. That's who's owed. And it's serving to the detriment of the people because at wartime, we have so many people out trying to get money with contracts, all kinds of contracts, whether it's technology, food, weapons, there's contracts and there's money to be made when it comes to these wars. That's why they're started. And that's why when somebody from over here talk about it, it's weak or they don't talk about it at all. But one thing you'll never hear them talk about is ending it. Because if you talk about ending it, you're messing with their money. And they're not going to go for that. They're speaking about money, whether it's Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. I don't know which one of them, I can't say either one of them will end these wars. I can't say. Well, I can say this, though. I can honestly say this. It's a lot of people who are participants in BRICS that rock with Trump. I can honestly say that part. Are you familiar with what nations are affiliated with BRICS, T. Riggles? Peace, my sister, Black Panther Jackie Brown. Peace, Hurricane JW. Peace. You know, kick the brother out again. Guess I'll go back to the video.
How successful they deal with that challenge. And the one thing that's unassailable is there was a complete, total failure of leadership in that position. And I think that when people don't realize that, all right, hang tight. Coming up, we're going to dig into VP Harris's opportunity agenda for Black men. Y'all stay tuned.
She went to Atlanta and to Philly and to Detroit to listen to entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to come back up, brother. And Hurricane JW, you're absolutely correct. They are sheeple and they are the ignorant among us that called Bill Clinton the first Black president. And he did do NAFTA. I was just speaking about the economy when I spoke about the money part. Yeah, he did do NAFTA and the 3 strikes. He was a part of that. But I'll tell you who the 3 strikes and the 3 strikes, Christy Todd Whitman had a lot to do with that. The governor of New Jersey at the time had a lot to do with the 3 strikes also. And she also had a lot to do with taking your license. If you owe child support and all that, messing with your license. She was one of the ones who actually started that, Christy Todd Whitman. JJ the Enlightening One. Peace, kinfolk. My brother T Riggles. Did you hear what I was saying while you was rudely interrupted?
About the surplus?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not too knowledgeable on surpluses, but you know, as you said, if it happened during the Clinton time, you know, I stand right along with you.
Yeah, you was rather young at that time. That was a long time ago. I think Clinton left in 2001. He left the office and George W. Bush came in at that time. But that was the last time the United States had a surplus. You know, they called, speaking about what Hurricane JW was speaking about as far as Clinton. You know, Clinton, the NAFTA and the ignorant among our people talking about he was the first Black president because he did ignorant things. See, that's the thing. They make when somebody do stuff, ignorant things, they make it synonymous to being one of us. And I don't rock with that. That's, ignorance of people that's among us, our people. I don't rock with that. Making stupid things synonymous to being one of us. You can say, okay, he's a part of my family because my family do ignorant shit, but don't put that on a whole nation of people because this man do ignorant shit and he can play the sax. Nah, that don't make him one of us.
That part.
I don't rock with that.
Entrepreneurs, men that want to own homes. From that conversation came this Black men's agenda. It came from us.
The fact that there is a plan is something that we can't take for granted and something that does not exist on the other side of this conversation.
Maybe the job you see an illegal immigrant doing, you're going, I should be doing that right there. You know what I mean?
Stay with us. The BET Black Men Summit will continue in a moment.
Welcome back to our Black Men Summit. I am D.L. Hughley. Still with me are Jermaine Dupree, entrepreneur Ryan Wilson, and Nevada Congressman and chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Steve Horsford. Now, Steve, you helped craft VP's economic opportunity agenda for Black men. What is in it?
Well, first, actually, it's Black men who helped craft this opportunity economy because the vice president didn't want to talk about Black men or talk down to black men. She wanted to listen to us. She actually kicked
a woman who listens. What?
Now, was Kamala Harris talking to us or saying that she wanted to talk to us prior to her wiggling her way into not the primaries, but being the forerunner as the candidate for the president of the United States? I don't recall her wanting to talk to us. I don't recall that. I don't recall her ever saying she wanted to speak to brothers prior to her realizing that she's just not going to get our vote. That's when she went into panic mode and started saying, I got to speak to black men. Because, again, peace to my brother, Shank Rock. Thanks for tapping in, good brother. I appreciate it. Now, Kamala Harris, again, she wiggled her way to be the forerunner, which was illegal. All of that was illegal because she wasn't even in the primaries. And the one who was the runner-up in the primaries, if Biden dropped out, that person's supposed to get their spot. But she came in and she just got right in there. People raised money and nobody challenged her. Everybody stood idly by and let her wiggle her way in to become the candidate. Nobody challenged her. Not even the person who was the runner-up under Biden when he became the nominee. But that person's supposed to get their spot because they was neck and neck. But Biden ended up getting the nomination. All of this is illegal. What's going on now? Illegal. But we're in a nation that is ran by thieves and governed by crooks. And that's the way they get down. But so for some of our people to think that they're doing this, she was able to wiggle her way in for a reason. It's not coincidental. It's a reason why they allow her to pull this illegal shit. Pardon my language, but it's a reason why they allow her to do this. Unchallenged. Yet, we're going to find out. It's going to take a few days. Like I said, it's going to take a few days before they figure out, because they don't want the people to think that they didn't do it. They didn't want the people to think that they didn't do it, to think they didn't do it. But the people are not doing this as far as like electing whoever becomes the president. The people are not doing it. Regardless of how many votes or how many people vote, they're going to choose the puppet who they think they can control. That's who they're going to choose. I'm not saying who. I'm going to wait and see like everybody.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit back and wait either. And it's, I'm kind of glad that this is happening because, like you said, all of the procedures that needed to take place, everything's illegal. So all of America, you're witnessing this. And so if she pulls this off, and let me add that, question everything. gave a prediction. He put his neck out there, and then he said, you know, he predicts Kamala's going to win. And if she does, it's so faulty that it might spawn off a little bit more chaos. Maybe that's what they're looking for. I really don't know. But if Kamala wins, I feel, this is how I feel because I don't know. So I feel that, you know, all of America will be extremely upset and something will pop off. And I land.
Well, you know, in today's society, the order is chaos in the United States.
Facts.
The order is chaos. Because if all we have to do is just look at who they allow to run, the order is chaos. The mere fact that Donald Trump was allowed to run as a convicted felon, that lets us know a lot.
Yeah.
And it lets us know a lot about how some of our people think. You know, about rocking with a convicted felon. And then again, making it synonymous to us. Because in stereotyping your own brothers and sisters, in particular brothers, because he's a convicted felon, you're relating to him with that. That's some ignorant niggerdom. That's niggerdom.
Yes, that's what.
That's how you relating to him because he got shot. He got a sneaker out. And he's a convicted felon. Oh, he relates to us. He relates to you, nigga. Not me. That's a niggerdom. I wish I can line everybody with that mindset up. Everybody with that mindset. Line them up and put a hand on a side view mirror and just drive past all of them, let that mirror hit them in the damn face.
Well, you know what? I will say this. You know what? You know, because I was, you know, doing a little homework. And, you know, Trump won an award from a place called NECO back in the days. And like this man won an award for being a really good Samaritan, not really helping out inner city kids, but, you know, went in like being a really good Samaritan. And this award, he was able to take pictures with Rosa Parks, and Muhammad Ali was in this picture too, which was surprising. You know, so that I looked at and said, And this was, what year was this? It was in 1984 or something like that. And I sat back like, They did a really good job of laying down the format for Trump, you know, for people like myself, you know, who's going to investigate certain things. And seeing the picture right there, you know, especially with Muhammad Ali, like, okay, all right, it seems like you have the best interest at heart, but I'm still iffy. And I land.
Yes, sir.
So she kicked off.
Where is she at? No, I'm just kidding.
So she kicked off these opportunity tours, these economic opportunity tours, some time ago. She went to Atlanta and to Philly and to Detroit. to listen to us, to listen to entrepreneurs, to listen to men that want to own homes, to talk about the wage issue in communities. And from that conversation came this Black men's agenda. It came from us. And that is what we need in a leader, not just for president, but all elected officials, to not take us for granted. So in the agenda, she's talking about addressing work, wages, and wealth, to be able to own more than we owe, to move from a consumer-driven economy to an ownership-driven economy, one where we actually have a stake in this.
Equity in it.
Through home ownership, by providing $25,000 worth of down payment assistance. She wants to help more entrepreneurs actually start their business by providing $20,000 of forgivable loans, loans that do not have to be paid back. We did that for small businesses during the pandemic. She wants to do it to help entrepreneurs start their business. And then when they start it, she wants to provide $50,000 of deductions in the first year of the business, because that's where you need the help the most. So centering these issues is what she heard. She also heard the need to address healthcare by establishing a national health equity initiative to tackle sickle cell, prostate cancer, and diabetes, the three leading cause of death for Black men, disproportionately. And yes, we can invest in solutions to provide better education and prevention and treatment to save Black lives.
You know what I found interesting about what you just said, in addition to those things, but they were things that were tailor-made for us. They're things for us, by us, to use an acronym. What part of her plan, Jermaine, do you think will appeal to young people? How do we reach young Black men with the plan and aspects of this plan?
I just think we got to get out in front of them and give them more information. Like when he was just saying, I just raised my hand and tried to get a question in. Why is it being said that we are not voting for this election? I don't know.
But I think it's
because they want a scapegoat. They want to have somebody to blame the election results on, and they're not going to do that by blaming Black men. We're not.
Again, brother, if, Kamala Harris loses the election and the Democratic Party blame Black men for her losing, I could deal with that. I will be happy to be blamed for that. I will be happy to be blamed for any politician losing their election. Why? So they can know we're serious and you can't take us for granted. I can deal with being blamed for that, because they're so used to getting something from us without giving us a damn thing. I can live with that. We've been the suckers in the political process for far too long.
Yeah, I can deal with that. I can totally deal with that. This is why I don't do really politics, but the Democratic Party, right? I'm an outsider looking in. You've got to find an answer why, out of the bloom, are brothers switching sides now. When you got Stephen A. Smith that is questioning all the movements and the motives on what the Democratic Party is doing, it's like, yo, why are 20% of brothers switching over? What do those 20% of younger people know? And see, this is up for questioning and debate. But like we said in part one, it seems like it's very desperate here. You're
Yes.
talking to this female, and you're talking about this other guy she's been talking to. Like it's so the desperation, the panic. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever heard of a black summit for this type of situation. And so I'm just really, shouts out to all the brothers at the summit. I'm just really disappointed. And I laugh.
See, I'm not understanding. I don't understand the interests that our people have altogether, left or right. That's why I'm not understanding why they would think that America's politics benefit us or will benefit us, whether it's Trump or Harris. I don't understand that. And people are having this debate about Trump, about Harris, about what's going to happen if either one of them is elected. Instead of us, what we should have been doing a long time ago is, as a people, is taking our matters into our own hand and not worried about who's going to be in that office. Because again, I keep stressing it. If we are what we should be as a people, it wouldn't matter who's in that office. But if we were to go to them, as voters, why would we go to them? Why are we trying to crash their parties?
Good point.
Parties that we're not invited to. We should be, if we're going to participate in this election process, it should be all of us collectively. All of us collectively. We're not a Democrat. We're not a Republican. We're not an independent. We're not any of these parties. We are one people. And if we're going to participate, we're going to participate as a people. What are you going to do to get our vote? If you're not talking what we want to hear, we stay in the hell home. As a people.
It's that simple.
But some of us rather go to parties we're not invited to. And, participate and put the cape on for a candidate who don't have our best interests at heart. Because if they had our best interests at heart, they will speak to our interest. They speak to everybody else's interest. We shouldn't have to ask them. They see, they're around. They see what's going on with our people. We shouldn't have to ask them what they're going to do for us. Because when it came to that Asian crime bill, the ignorant among our people was caping for that too. I seen Common wearing a shirt, "Stop Asian Hate." Common, as much as our people suffer at the hands of others, and as influential as he is, he should have been like, it's wrong for people to, violently attack somebody because of their ethnicity. But have you considered my people, who are the most mistreated people in the United States? Have you considered my people? My focal point is my people. And if if you're not rocking with that, you're not rocking with me. My focal point is my people. I believe in human rights and all that, but my focal point is my people first. Because charity begins at home, then it spreads abroad. First law of nature. Self-preservation. Self. Everybody else, later on. Right after, we handle our business as a people. If you love your people, it's going to be your people first. I don't like when some of our people, when it comes to livelihood, when it comes to what we need to get as a people, put anybody in front of us or even on the side of us. Everybody behind us when it comes to that. As far as I'm concerned. What about this person? No, what about them? Don't bring nobody up when I'm talking about my people. Don't bring nobody else up when I'm talking about my people. Because they're going to fall on deaf ears. Until we establish ourselves as a people, we should be talking about nothing else but establishing ourselves as a people.
Facts. Because let's keep it real.
Go ahead,
let's keep it real. Like, we're the ones that need the most help. We have to balance this playing field. And once that is balanced, now we can, as you said, now we can talk to everyone. But let's balance the playing field out first.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It's not, it's already, I like to use relationships and females as an example, so we're going to the club and you got the money, you got the car, you got the clothes, right? But the only thing that's even is that I might have the gift of gab better than you. It's still not an even playing field. So once we do that, oh, okay, so now, we're in a better mindset. We have our logic, our reasoning is intact. Our emotions are intact. Now we can play the game, So when we speak about the generation wealth gap, I mean, come on now. So I feel with your breakdown right there, especially if we're gonna talk about us, look, we don't have to talk about anybody else. It's what are we going to do? You feel me? And I side with that statement right there, Brother Nasir, for real talk.
And we don't even need help from others. You know that? We don't. We don't even need help from others. We just don't want hindrance. That's it. We really, if we pool our resources as a people, we wouldn't need help from nobody. How many is it of us in the United States?
That is a good question.
I know it's tens of millions, right?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
We wouldn't need help from nobody. Just don't hinder us in our efforts. Get out of our way. That's how you can help us. When people ask how can they help us, that's what we should tell them. Don't hinder us. Leave us alone. We wouldn't need help for nobody. All we have to do is pool our resources. That's it. Pool our resources. And guess what? Collectively, if we did things collectively, there's no hindrance. There's nothing burdenous because we're all doing it together. If it's 50 million of us in the United States, $1 is $50 million from each one of us. So just imagine if all of us gave $100.
Yeah.
We don't need no help from nobody. We don't need help. We need people to get out our way and leave us alone.
Yeah. Well, I looked it up. It says that we're 41.57 million, and that says that was in 2022. And I heard a professor say that annually, that's documented. And this was, well, when did I hear this? This was in the 90s. No, the 2000s. And the professor said that annually we make 3.3 trillion annually. Document. This is the ones only documented.
That's more than a lot
we're
of
not
nations.
even we're not even adding, you know what I'm saying, the hustlers and all of that. But
Exactly.
we make 3.3 trillion. So we don't have a physical problem. We can generate what you're saying, all the resources we can have.
Exactly.
We have a mental one, because 3.3 trillion. How do you not pick ourselves up from that? Obviously, there has to be something that's putting their foot on our necks, on our land.
You're right. And that's my point. That's my point. You know, and that's what our open and consistent enemy are afraid of. And they work day and night while some of us got our eyes closed, sleep. They have a think tank, you know, trying to keep us from each other. See, one thing our people don't realize, that when J. Edgar Hoover said he wanted to prevent the rise of a black messiah, that black messiah is not one person. That black messiah is us uniting. That's what he wants to prevent. He wants to prevent that. That's the black messiah that he was referring to, not one person.
Yeah.
Us uniting is that black messiah that he tried to prevent. Us coming together. Because once we get our minds together and once we, can you imagine all the numbers that you gave me? We all put in the pot. It's not burdensome that way. Not one person is working that hard. If everybody, you know, that many people, $3.7 trillion, a lot of nations don't have that.
Facts.
A lot of nations don't have that kind of money. But we have it every year. And bro, we hinder ourselves with this foolishness that we see here on this this vomit.
Absolutely.
We hinder ourselves because we are worried about, or we're dependent on a benevolent politician to do for us what we are more than capable of doing for ourselves.
Absolutely.
So, you know, you're absolutely right. But I think in addition, it's really the same old story. There is an attempt to fragment. Like, there's a legitimate question as to whether the vice president's support among black men is eroding. But an equally legitimate question is, why is Dick Cheney and Jeff Flake and Geraldo Rivera not voting for Trump? So you can see there is a deliberate attempt to disengage, because the one thing that was on the sale about Vice President Harris is her enthusiasm. And how do you dampen enthusiasm? You fragment it. Yeah. We were talking, of course, obviously aspects of this plan. You're an entrepreneur. What part of that plan speaks to you individually, like as an entrepreneur?
The tax exemption for small businesses is huge. Moving from $5,000 to $50,000 would have been a game changer for me. I think it's going to be a game changer for a lot of entrepreneurs out there. I think we have to take a step back, though. The fact that there is a plan is something that we can't take for granted, and something that does not exist on the other side of this conversation, right? So we've got to acknowledge, while there are a ton of details, right? This is for the brothers out there that say, well, where are the details? There is a ton of work to do. We actually have to go through the legislative process. We've got to go through Congress, right? But the fact that there is a plan on the table is something that we should be excited about, right? So the thing that I'm most excited about the plan is that there is one, right? And we need to make sure that everyone in the community knows that that plan has been produced and that we're going to actually make those things happen.
Jermaine, you hear this a lot. I know I do. When it comes to the economy, the subject of immigration invariably comes up. A lot of black men, and I shouldn't say a lot because we're not a monolith. We got Barack Obama and Flavor Flav, so I don't know how somebody gets it. But there is the belief that immigrants are taking our jobs. You've heard that, right?
Yeah, but not in Atlanta.
I know they get in.
Right now, they are speaking about something that neither one of them can relate to.
I was going to tell you, pause. What plan are you talking about? Could we get a name of the plan? Can we look at the plan? And what plan is on the table? That's what I want to know. The last time I heard of a plan was from Cuba, and the Platinum Plus, whatever that plan was. Did that get heard? Did the brothers on the Democratic and Republican side talk about and bring this plan to the table? And then what happened to it? And see, this nonsense that we're all hearing, you know, further lets us all know here that this is a script. This is a script.
This very performative, brother. All this is performative, you know, and you know, Biden said he wasn't talking to us about a plan. He told the Congressional Black Caucus that he wasn't talking to them either. And as far as his job thing with D.L. Hughley and especially Jermaine Dupri been an entertainer since he was a little boy. A little boy.
Yeah. Before
Jermaine Dupri was the executive he is now, he was a dancer for Houdini. Way back when he was a little boy.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Go back and watch some of those old videos. The little boy that's pop locking in the videos, that's Jermaine Dupri.
Wow.
With a jerry curl.
Wow.
So he's been an entertainer since he was a little boy since the 1980s. So he don't know nothing about whether a job was taken or not. What do he or D.L. Hughley know about that? Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And how dare Jermaine Dupri say, you know, the youth is dumb and stupid. Like, how dare you, yo? You're taking the shot at all the parents now that's had children. So you're basically calling all the parents stupid. No, that's not right. And you know, the youth is very bright.
And not only that, good brother. Not only that, how many seasons did the Rap Game air?
Which one?
The show that he hosted the contest, the Rap Game.
I never watched that.
Where he exploited little children. The only one I seen pop from that is that what's that mulatto girl, Lotto, whatever her name is. I don't know nothing she ever made, but she's the only one I seen that come out of that made something of herself. And the little girl, Camouflage daughter, but she's an athlete. She went to college and the whole nine. She's wanted, to be a youngin'. She got her head on straight based on her lyrics, and she's a college student and she's an athlete. But those the only two that I've seen out of all the seasons that he had of the Rap Game. He exploits children
in a major way.
Jermaine Dupri.
In a major way. What's that group? What was that group? Aisha. What's that group again?
I forgot. It was the Boys? Was that the
no,
Boys?
It wasn't the Boys.
I don't know. I never liked that popcorn stuff.
You didn't like that? You didn't like Aisha?
I was a grown ass man when it came out. I don't like stuff like that. They play some whispers. I don't listen to that crap.
You know what I'm saying? With that group, and then crisscross, we see what happens to your product and your tutelage. I'm just saying. You feel me? This what happens with Mr. Jermaine Dupri. It's
That's
sad.
what the brother Hurricane JW said in the chat. That's what the brother Hurricane said.
Shouts out to you, Hurricane.
They can't be
That
so
don't happen
different.
here. I mean, it just don't happen here.
You know what's interesting? You do hear that, and whenever I hear people say that, because I know in Michigan and Wisconsin and a lot of Rust Belt say that is something that is bantered around about. But the thing is, I always hear that taking our job. I never name me the job you see a legal immigrant doing. You go, I should be doing that right there. You know what I mean? So there's an attempt to fragment and to kind of. The one thing I will say that the Trump administration has done successfully is whether you are disaffected, black or white, he's giving you somebody to look down on and somebody to blame. And that is a commodity that is for some people worth it. We're going to talk to Mark Marial. Look all fly. Look at you. You are the former mayor of New Orleans and the current head of the National Urban League. What is the real truth about immigration?
The truth is that for all the rhetoric, there has not been an immigration bill. And when there was an immigration bill to try to fix the immigration system, guess what happened? Donald Trump didn't wink and nod. He pulled out his bullhorn and told his friends in Congress, do not pass it. He functioned as an obstructionist, once again, playing games with all of us. So the issue is, do you run on a problem or do you run on solutions? And immigration is a challenge in America that needs a solution. But we have to remember as black people that a substantial.
How can he stand up and say this when there's a influx of immigrants all over the damn place that the Biden administration allowed to come here?
Yeah, I'm so confused.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And hey, thanks Trump for you not signing the thing. You feel me? So what, more jobs are gonna go to elsewhere? Nah. I mean, come on. I think you just shot yourself in the foot right there, brother, by saying that. Like, makes no sense whatsoever.
I mean, we have a problem with immigrants all over the place. Sanctuary towns, and DeSantis sent some of the busloads of people to Kamala Harris's house. Busloads. Since you want to let them come over here, let them come stay with you. And they sent them to our neighborhoods. Peace to the brother Relentless. Thanks for tapping in, good brother. And they sent them to our neighborhoods. Wherever we're at, our people are at, that's where they're at. But how could this man, I could tell you how he could say that, because I have a problem with people speaking about things that don't affect them. That's what I have a problem with. It's not affecting him. It's not affecting D.L. Hughley. It's not affecting Michael Ealy. It's not affecting Benjamin Crump. It's not affecting any of them. Why? Because they're millionaires.
That part.
That don't live around us. So they shouldn't even be speaking about that. Put some real people on that damn stage.
Substantial part of immigrants in America are black people.
Yes.
Haitians,
yes.
Nigerians, Jamaicans, and a substantial part of the Latino community are Afro-Latino. We have to understand this and not allow this old strategy. It's an old game.
Sure.
Divide and conquer and confuse and then laugh.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Hold up.
First, we wanted your woman, then we wanted your job, now we're eating your pets. Like like black people, we don't even walk dogs. How the hell are we gonna eat them? That's crazy. Coming up, black men and the issue of reproductive rights. You'll stay with us. reproductive justice is a black man, a black woman, a black people issue. My granddaughter, who was born in September of last year, she was born with fewer rights than me. We can't be a nation that yells freedom when 50% of our population doesn't even have freedom to have autonomy of their own person.
Yeah. This is why it's so important what we're all saying. We must protect our black women at all costs. Yes. And the biggest way we could do that in this election is to vote.
Stay with us. The BET Black Men Summit will continue in a moment.
So the way we can protect our women is to vote. That's funny.
Wow.
Vote. Put it in the hands of somebody else. That's how we can protect our women. Not when we see somebody accosted them and doing harm to them, checking it at the door. Not that, but voting. Voting. That is a cowardly statement.
Yeah. So a ballot is going to save a black woman from getting assaulted. Man, great breakdown, brother. Yeah, that really makes sense. A ballot.
Yeah.
And then he's going to mention a divide and conquer. Hello. I'm pretty sure that you're a frat brother, so you're going to hire a frat brother before someone else who's not a frat brother and is more qualified than your brother, right? And this is another brother now. And then you're going to hire your frat brother who's not really qualified. So you, my friend, are participating in the divide and conquer thing here. Like, it's so disappointing, but at the same time, Bro.Nasir, I've got this compassion and empathy. You feel me? And so I'm gonna say, man, brothers, it's not your fault, y'all. Y'all have already signed your contract per se, and I land.
Yeah, that's the truth. They signed a contract, and if they want to stay in that house that they live in, they got to put on that act. When they say action, they got to cut into action. When they say cut, they got to cut.
Yep.
But
in essence, Bro.Nasir, that what they are saying, in essence, like,
yes,
oh, you put on the dress.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's like, but it's to me, it just don't sit right with me. The only way I know to deal with, or how to protect, I'm gonna say it like this: a beautician better not mess my wife's eyebrows up. It's gonna be a problem. She come to me and complain about they did her hair wrong, or they did anything. They messed anything up because I'm a protector. Only way I know how to protect her is to actually protect her, not make a phone call, by actually protecting her, standing in front of her when any danger alerts, and neutralizing the threat. That's how you protect our women, not by voting. Neutralizing any threat that may occur in the vicinity of our women.
Yeah.
I don't believe in, going, like you said, brother, a ballot is not going to do it. Not a ballot, bro.
No doubt, it's not going to do it. It's not going to work. What you're going to confront your problem and say, okay, brother, this is it. This is the final straw. I've got my ballot, and I'm going to sign my ballot. So you better not touch my woman again. No, come on, y'all.
I know I can almost predetermine what they're going to say when we cut back to the video. I can almost predetermine what they're going to. They're going to approach this in a very cowardly way. They're not going to say. They will not say, They don't have the fortitude to say what we should do when somebody handle our women the way they shouldn't be handled. They don't have the fortitude to say that. None of them.
Yeah, none of them.
That's why they say go out and vote. When somebody aggress our women or mistreat our women or do anything negative to our women, it should be a vote. Vote on the severity of how we deal with that person. How severe you want the damn pain to be. How severe you want the punishment to be. That should be the vote. How severe the punishment would be on behalf of our woman.
Moment. You're watching the BET Black Men Summit. Here again, D.L. Hughley.
Now I need to hit on another issue that some see only as a woman's issue, reproductive rights. Is this an issue for black men that we should be focusing on? Are Kenny Burns and Vic Mensa hit the streets to find out?
You were telling me about your concerns with the next generation, and I'm wondering, does reproductive rights factor into this election for you and your decision making?
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely pro-choice. I think a woman should control what happens with her body 100%.
I think the reproductive rights aspect makes the choice for who to elect very clear.
Someone coming in and say, hey, this is what you need to do with your body. Like, we have never experienced that. And I don't want them to experience that. And we need to stay out of that. I think we also need our government to stay out of those things as well.
I don't believe in abortion. Just being honest with you, I believe we abuse the right.
Is that a big part of your decision-making this election?
For me personally, it's not high up there, right? I'm not going to say that it's not of importance. There's no disrespect to women at all, right? I come from one.
Oh, definitely affects my vote. I'm a father of 4 daughters.
You know, my choice, my body and stuff like that. And it is. I'm not going to say anything, you know, too deep into that.
With all these black women behind the camera.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't get jumped, you know what I'm saying?
When we empower and give women the right to choose in every aspect of their life, we as a society advance.
All right, we're back now with Kenny Burns and Vic Mensa. Kenny, man, do black men see reproductive rights as an important issue?
I think here we all believe that black women will say the plan is correct.
Yeah.
We also believe that, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we come from a black woman, they should have rights to their bodies. We should not be in control of any woman's bodies. And as far as men are concerned, you know, a lot of young men aren't ready to be fathers. And with this happening, you know, it would put them into a place that they're not ready for.
Vic, what do you think? What do you think about that?
Many men I spoke to felt that women's reproductive rights were important to them, but not their top priority. However, the fact remains that maternal mortality rates amongst black women are exponentially higher in states with Republican-led abortion bans. As black men, our primary responsibility in this humanity is to protect black women.
Yes, it is.
That's why we're here. And I think protecting black women begins and ends with listening to them about what makes them feel safe. And they overwhelmingly support the right to choose what happens with their body. A majority of over 75 to 80%. So I think that it's an issue of paramount importance to us and to me.
Yeah, you know, thank you. Like there's this word radical, like it's radical for people to want to have control of their body.
I really don't think that's a problem that our people have. I really don't. So I'm not understanding why these brothers are discussing this when I don't think it's a problem that our people have. They just added this on the agenda for the vomit. Our people don't experience them problems. It's this is a real it's a feminist issue, and our people don't have this problem because the brothers don't get it into those in that type of that. We're not bullies and dictators like that. This not even an issue of ours at all. While they're discussing it, it's beyond me.
It's beyond me. It's not really a serious issue here. I'm in the same stance in a way. Hey, it's her body, her right. Just like it's my body, my right. There's something to balance out there. If a woman gets raped, I think she has a choice. If she doesn't want the child, but if it's just a couple and then oops, okay, well, I don't think you should be able to get rid of the child like that. But who am I?
Hurricane, you are saying some real shit in the chat, bro. Saying some real shit in the chat.
What do you say?
What do you say? He said first he said the problem is the government, which is true.
Facts.
The problem is the government. They need to stay out of people's personal business. And then he said they're discussing it because they don't want to talk about revolution. And that's a profound statement.
Hey, you're damn right.
That's a profound statement. That's a statement that resonates. This is the reason why they sitting here talking about this, because it's safe. This is real safe. They ran out of things to talk about, so they talked about something that don't even pertain to our people. Our people don't. That's not a problem of ours.
That's a radical thing, but it's not radical for a teenager to bear the child of a rapist. You got your R's messed up. That's just crazy to me. So, what I'm saying? So, speak to that.
Yeah, again, this is an issue because 45 was president. He put 3 Supreme Court justices on the Supreme Court who raised their hand and said, we would not touch Roe v. Wade. And then what's the first thing they did? They repealed Roe v. Wade, and it has had a...
Roe v. Wade is not a concern of the sisters. Roe v. Wade started with a lie. The origin of Roe v. Wade is a lie. A lie about a rape that didn't occur, that got those rights. Not saying they shouldn't have the rights. I'm talking about the origin of the bill. And they're discussing this like it pertains to us, and it don't. Another stunt of the feminist movement. The Sister Act that white women pulled on our sisters to get their numbers in their feminist movement. There was no real sisterhood between them. It's the same Sister Act that Kamala Harris is pulling.
Mm-hmm.
The same Sister Act.
Yeah, this is
phony ass camaraderie.
Yeah, this is pretty wild, Bro.Nasir, that, the origins, as you said, I'm not even aware of how Roe v. Wade got started. I wasn't aware of that, of a false pretense. That's kind of deep. And really, the thing that's really deep is, when we speak about, these abortions that happen, and Planned Parenthood. I mean, that's that's somewhat of an issue that shouldn't all Planned Parenthoods shouldn't be in all Black neighborhoods. Honestly, it shouldn't be like that. But you know, there's something there that that's real fishy.
Because their plans is to have no parents in the hood.
Yeah,
that's why they call it Planned Parenthood, because their plans is to have no parents in the hood. Because when they go there, it's not Planned Parenthood. Not when you telling somebody, when you're suggesting that somebody abort the child. So where's the planning to be parents at? Where's that at?
Yeah. And God forbid that the mother, you know, if you live in Oakland, God forbid that mother or the child, the son doesn't, or the daughter doesn't go to school. Oh my God, you're in jail. So now there is no parents whatsoever.
Yeah, especially under Harris. You know, she was locking, you know, parents up for truancy.
Like, this is wild.
Heartbreaking impact on the Black community, especially because when you think about the maternal mortality rates of Black women during pregnancy and labor and delivery issues in this state of Georgia, it is 2-to-1, right, Cliff? 2-to-1. And so it hit close to home for me because Attorney Mike Harper and I represent the family of Amber Thurman.
Oh, wow.
This is a sister who, DL, is the first documented case that we are aware of where the extreme abortion bans actually resulted in a woman in a hospital bed with doctors who could have prevented her death, but because of concerns that they would go to prison, we believe they let her suffer for 20 hours while she was vomiting and passing out and turning colors. And nobody told her family, her mother was there. Nobody told them that we're not going to treat her because we're afraid we might go to jail. And so it affects all of us, especially Black men who have.
No, that's a damn shame. That's a shame. But that happens in these hospitals. It was a case last year where a young couple had a child. The young lady was delivering, and the doctor pulled on the baby so hard that she pulled the baby's head off, and they tried to hide it. They tried to hide it. And how they found out was through the funeral home.
Wow.
The funeral home said, you know, what happened to this baby? This baby's head's not connected to the body. They told them that the baby died, but they propped the baby up. They wouldn't let her hold the baby. They said, no, you can't hold the baby. So they propped the baby up as if it was, you know, together and put it in the window. They found out that baby head was decapitated through the funeral home. But they propped the baby up and let them look through the window to see their baby. All along, that doctor pulled the baby's head off. Crazy.
Who have daughters. In fact, DL, we have Amber Thurman's father, Andre Thurman, here with us. And he can say how it affects Black men more than anybody.
Can't stand Trump.
These laws have tremendously affected me. I lost my baby behind them. Letting her just sit there for 20 hours. That didn't do anything. Well, I can't thank Kamala for keeping her name alive.
Yes.
And doing everything that they doing for us. Thanks.
That's a
I
low
was
move. That's a low
born in
move.
1964. I was the first one of my mother's children born with the full rights of an American citizen. My granddaughter, who was born in Atlanta, Georgia, my second grandchild, she was born in September of last year. She was born with fewer rights than me. It should not be, there have to be things that we agree on. And we can't be a nation that yells freedom when 50% of our population doesn't even have freedom to have autonomy of their own person.
Yeah.
And as black men, it is we know what it's like to not own your body.
Yeah.
Why would we want to do that to somebody else? What I don't understand. What do you think,
about what Donald Trump is doing? If Vice President Kamala Harris wasn't saying Amber Nicole Thurman's name, it would be swept under the rug. And so the choice is clear when you're talking about.
Trump doesn't have anything to do with that sister and what happened to her. This is stupid.
This is pathetic.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to do with what happened to that sister. That's negligence of that hospital and those doctors. Had nothing to do with Trump.
Yeah, that was a low, very low, below the belt move. Like, it doesn't, that story has nothing to do with the presidents at all. It's got to do with the hospital, and as to each his own. But I'm gonna advocate for women. Hey man, have your children at home. Like, real talk. If I don't, hospitals and we don't really mix too well, and so with all the stuff that's going on there, so I'm gonna advocate no, just have it at home, or have your child in a pool or something. It's to take the hospital away, because there's too much funny bunny things that go on in that hospital. And I land right there.
A woman's rights to choose. Who do you think is going to look out for our wives, our daughters, our sisters, our nieces?
Oh, the reproductive justice is a black man, a black woman, a black people issue because of the history that you mentioned. For hundreds of years, we were considered chattel in this country, property of other people. Right? Black women were having the children of their rapists, who were the enslavers.
Right.
But you know what is also part of America's story? In the 1900s, the sterilization of black women.
Yeah.
The sterilization of poor women. Millions of women were denied the right to ever have children because they were poor or because they were considered feeble-minded. And that was state law and federal. It was eugenics, but it was policy. And we are living in a time where people's rights are being taken, that autonomy is being taken, again, in policy, again, in law. And so we have to realize the intersectionality that black women are living with. They're dealing with the pain of being black, right? And also the promise that comes with that, but they're dealing with the pain of being a woman. And also the promise of that, where we, as black men, we do benefit from patriarchy.
Yeah.
We men.
Yes.
We benefit from sex. We benefit.
You
and
can
it's all
stop
right
talking
to
right
tell
now.
it.
That's enough.
It's all right to tell it.
Stop it.
It's all right to
You know
tell
what?
it. But then
This ain't the Oprah Summit. Stop it.
before I get to the listen, before I get to the mountaintop, before I get to the
Cut it out, Jesse. Now you know that's not a word.
mountaintop, because I'll do it. I'll do it here. Look, what comes with it is our.
Yo, T. Riggles, get your boy, man. Get your boy.
Hey, look, he's got the look, he's got the sound. But brother, what has changed since the 1900s? Aren't we still being sterilized? It would be very nice to talk about today's sterilization with our cereal, Kellogg's, corn flakes, and Frosted Flakes. How come our Frosted Flake box with the ingredients look different than the Frosted Flakes box in Europe? How come they have fewer ingredients and we have a lot more? If we're going to be talking about this madness here,
Yes, sir.
let's talk about today, Senator.
And let's talk about all the foods that they allow in the supermarkets here that are banned in other countries because of the lack of nutritional value. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. When in 1994, it was a green light for all GMO products was a go. Like, let's talk about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is crazy, yo. But hey,
I mean, just because they're not doing it with needles, that don't mean they're not doing it.
That part.
Our power and using our power to uplift the voices of those who have been made powerless.
Absolutely. Michael, what is this notion that that's not an issue that is supposed to be top of the ticket? The idea that's important to us. What do you think of that?
How many of us have daughters and sisters? Okay.
You see all the bald dudes in here? They got daughters. Wait, I mean,
yeah, exactly. I don't subscribe to the narrative that we are not in support of women's reproductive rights. I just won't subscribe to that. I think it's another narrative that they're trying to put on us to divide us, and I believe
I can get with that. He's going where I'm going. It's not a problem that we've had. We've always been supportive of our women and their rights to their bodies or what have you. This is not a brother and sister problem.
Right.
Never been.
No. There's been some disputes, but ultimately,
overall,
she's going to decide.
overall, that's not a problem that we have in our community, our people. No, it's not.
No.
The civil rights movement was accomplished by Black men and Black women coming together. Sure. And I believe that right now, Black women and Black men are coming together when it comes to reproductive rights. Black men will always stand up for their daughters and their sisters and their mamas. That is a known fact. That is a known fact. So if you are one of those individuals who's thinking selfishly about this particular election and you thinking, well, I'm not really feeling this because, there's nothing in it for you. Exactly. Think about your sister. Think about your daughter. Think about your niece.
So you're telling us that voting for Kamala Harris is in support of your niece, your mom, your sister, your daughter, your female cousin. This is not making sense. Voting for her, you voting on behalf of them because you vote for her. That makes no sense.
None.
How about you as an individual being there for them instead of worried about politics? Politics have nothing to do with this and had no business being in your family business in the first place.
Right.
As a brother Hurricane JW said, government need to stay out of it. It's not your business.
Not your business.
Sometimes it is about us, but oftentimes it's about our community. Yeah. And all of the women in our community deserve better.
You think reproductive rights is not your issue, you need to think again. Stay with us. Final thoughts on what's at stake in this election for Black men when we come back.
The time is now. This is it. This is our moment.
When you go into your voting booth, you can either promote or fire any elected official that you want.
I think we have this expectation that we have to be in love with the candidate. And the reality is we are facing an election for democracy versus a dictatorship.
More of the BET Black Men Summit in a moment.
They talk about democracy. See, he's talking about democracy, Michael Illy. Yet when I see a politician talk about democracy, it don't sit right with me because people are robbed of that every day. You know, they go all over the world and they try to establish that. And when they talk about democracy all over the world, they're really talking about a puppet government and a puppet regime and a puppet damn leader of that country while they rob us of democracy every day.
Every day. And let's not forget what comes along with democracy is the Federal Reserve banking system.
Yes.
Let's not forget that.
You know, the brother, them demons are crazy. You know what I'm saying?
hey, look, and they getting desperate, yo. Like, look, they getting so desperate. Hey, look, brothers, we gonna pay y'all. Come on down. We need your voice for this one. And don't worry about your rent. For a couple of months, you'll have your cocktails. You can still have your barbecues. We just need 3 hours of your time.
Well, let me tell you, the Democratic Party, or whatever party it is, but right now we're talking about the Democratic Party. They got money, to pay for this. And being that BET and Viacom in particular is Democratic, they'll sponsor something like this. And wherever commercial you see in between, you know what I'm saying? Wherever commercial you see in between, they're fronting the bill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you watch this on TV, whatever commercial you see, they support that candidate. Because that's how they paid for it, with the ads.
Ads, yeah.
Welcome back. This high-stakes election is just days away, and I want to allow some of our guests to share their final thoughts and their call to action. So, Brother Crump.
DL, when you think about Project 2025,
here we go,
and the way they have told us what they're going to do to kill the future for our Black children.
Boogeyman's coming.
I can't. This brother, as my man Santana calls, can you dig it? Santana calls Crumb. This is a gorilla right here. That's all. He makes so much fun because this guy's way of thinking, his mindset, it's almost like, no, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not a fan of you, Crump. Sorry.
Project 2025 is a bipartisan damn policy. Who they think they fooling?
Our sister Kamala Harris becoming the president of the United States gives us the best chance for having an equal opportunity at the American promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That is a hallmark card of a statement.
I don't, yo, did he get that line? Did he ask Will Smith to use that line, or the director or the writer of that movie? Did he ask for that? Like,
it sounded like it came corny. It was corny, brother. It sounded like it came from the patriotic 4th of July section of the greeting cards section.
Yeah.
It
Straight
sounded
from
like
Hallmark. Not even from Hallmark. That's a 99-cent store thing.
Yeah. I like yours better, brother. It's a 99-cent store card.
Michael Ely?
I think I want to start off by just saying, I think we need to stop trying to romanticize elections. I think we have this expectation that we have to be in love with the candidate. And the reality is we don't. What we have to focus on, gentlemen, right here, right now, is we are facing an election for democracy, versus a dictatorship. This is perhaps one of the most fundamentally easy elections to kind of discern which way you want to go. So we have to teach everybody, we have to talk to our relatives, talk to our friends and family about voting down the ballot and making sure that Vice President Kamala Harris has the Congress that she needs to get legislation passed that's going to give us what we want, that's going to give us the agenda for Black men. That's what we have to fight for in this election. So we have to work on that. It's our chance to do that.
Representative.
You know what that sounds like?
Representative Pearson.
Yeah, I mean, look, the time is now. Like, this is it. This is our moment. And generations upon generations of Black folk have risen to meet their moment. And this, for Black men, is ours. Whether it was W.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington rising to meet their moment, whether it was Frederick Douglass rising to meet his moment, whether it was Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. rising to meet their moment, this is ours. And it is our opportunity to make sure that the future that we want to live in is more possible.
I am somebody.
That is why we have to elect Vice President Kamala Harris to the president.
Come on, get your boy, T. Riggles. Get your boy, man.
Hey, look. Okay, my boy, you know, he needs some work, some serious work. But you got to admit, Brother Nasir, he sound good, don't he, though?
Yeah, you sound good. I am somebody.
I am somebody.
I may not rightfully know who the hell I am, but I am somebody.
He's gonna win the hearts of people with just his fro alone. Okay, you know what I mean? He's going to win. I mean, I like him. I'm not voting or standing anything behind whatever the brother is saying, but I like him.
You know, I make fun, but I say it in quotes, he is a brother. Like you said, you know, a lot of them put their faith in this political process. They really think it works. They really have it in their mind. Some of these people really have it in their mind that this is real and it works. They do. They have faith in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's all they know. They was told the vote in the political process is real, where they come from. And their parents probably told them that, okay, in order for you to make a change, you got to vote, you got to do this, you got to do that. I mean, they really believe in the political process.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I just don't understand, especially at a point in history right now where we're at, we really do need someone who can deal with international business. We don't need an implant that is going to be told what to do and what to say.
I don't think Kamala Harris is I don't think she has the credibility. I don't think she has the fortitude to deal with international leaders and world leaders. I don't think she can do it. I don't have that type of, Donald Trump's done it. He's done it.
Yeah.
But she's going to have to deal with world leaders. And once she get in there with those wolves, they're going to eat her alive. And hope she don't think she can laugh everything off. You can't laugh everything off.
Yeah.
All that cackling and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those world leaders was like, what the hell is so funny? What are you laughing at?
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? But I don't know if this is true or not, right? But didn't Putin vouch for Kamala to be president?
Who's that?
Didn't Putin, the Russian president, wants Kamala to be president?
You know, it's like this. I said it earlier. The United States They go around the world, they influence elections, and they set up puppet regimes with a puppet leader. What makes you think, Russia wouldn't want a puppet regime with a puppet leader that can easily be controlled? Can't control Trump, I guarantee you that.
Yeah, that not flying. And
Can't control Trump.
Go ahead.
You can't. They can't control Trump. None of those world leaders would be able to control Trump. Trump would be like, "Bring it. I'll bomb your ass back to the damn Stone Age."
Oh yeah.
But they would not. They're not going to take her serious. They're not as a world leader. They won't.
He'll look, at least Trump will get everybody in line. He'll go into the meeting and see he got this mafioso thing going on.
Exactly.
Where he'll say, "Hey, look, I'm going to make you an offer that you really can't refuse, and don't play around, because my uncle, was part of the Department of Defense, and I've got all the respect from all of the military generals." Yeah, like I wouldn't play around. You know what I'm saying with that at all.
I just don't see, dealing with a serious issue internationally that she would know how to deal with it.
No, she wouldn't know.
I just don't see it.
She doesn't even want to go on to podcast. Oh, so you don't want to go on to a Joe Rogan? Oh, why not? Trump did. You're not going to do the somewhat grassroots? Oh, you don't want to be questioned because you can't answer nothing. Like everyone miss me right now.
You're right.
With this Black Summit, y'all. Like, come on now. Come on, brothers. You feel me? You can't tell me in my face and look me in the eye and say Kamala is our best bet.
Yeah, you're right, brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, you can't. I don't care what good of an act you put on. You can't convince me of that. And this is somebody who don't support neither candidate, but between the two of them, he's not even competent to me, but he's more competent than she is.
Most def. Okay.
And that's terrible. He's not even competent. Terrible. He's not even competent, but he's more competent than her.
Yeah, look, if the world was based on law, well, then okay, you might win in that, Kamala, even though that you were, you got the top spot without really working that hard. But this world is run on, business now. So I don't care about your undergrad major in business. You don't know what it is in the real world here. You just went to school for it. You have no field work whatsoever. So it's, as they said earlier in the discussion, this right here, I'm an outsider looking in. This is a no-brainer for me.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely an outsider looking in.
President of the United States of America. That's why we have to do this. So this is it. This is our time. This is our moment. Let's win this thing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be your campaign advisor. That's what I got.
Come on, I need you.
Come on now. I want to make sure we include some of the voices in our audience. Khalil Thompson, what are some of your final thoughts?
So I have an amazing 7-year-old CEO who is my pride and joy. I wonder on Wednesday, November 6th, when she wakes up, I want her to know that this world is still fair, that she still has the opportunity to realize every dream that she has, and it hasn't been diminished. So I ask every brother here, every brother that you have the opportunity when you go into your voting booth, when you vote early, when you do vote by mail or absentee, you are the CEO in this moment. You can either promote or fire any elected official that you want. I believe, as my pastor say, can't tell you who to vote for. I'm telling you.
Why are you selling this false hope You know, they know damn well these elections are rigged, from the local elections all the way up to the highest office in the land. They're rigged. You're not firing or hiring anyone.
Right.
So
Isn't
it's false hope, brother.
Yeah, isn't the mayor of Chicago still the mayor? After all the stuff I'm seeing from street media TV, he's covering it, and she's going through the ringer, but she's still mayor.
Let me tell you something, brother. The mayor that we have in my city been the mayor since the 1990s.
Damn.
And before then, it was his cousin.
Damn.
And before then, it was his cousin's father.
Stop playing.
It's been a family business since I was alive, brother.
Wow.
That office.
Tell
Wow.
you who I'm voting for. I'm going to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris.
Sorry, that says about so much right there.
Yes, sir.
Like that's insane.
Family business.
Yo.
And people don't realize that some of these offices and some of these positions are handed down by family. And they don't realize that all these people, I don't care how they go at each other. It was crazy because George W. Bush and John Kerry are cousins.
Yeah.
When they was going at each other. And most of these people are related. I don't care how far removed they're related. You got to be a part of that bloodline.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you're not getting that office.
Yeah.
You're not.
Did you hear that George Bush Jr.'s daughter, I can't remember her name, whatever her name is, she's voting for Kamala. I wonder why.
You know, it's all a game.
These are games.
It's all
for
a game.
All games.
And what's crazy about it is, you know, they tell us that we can play, and we play by the rules and they don't.
Mm.
That's the crazy part. We play by the rules while they don't play by the rules.
Because I just heard 50 Cents, on the Breakfast Club, just the little clips of it, and I think all of us growing up, our parents said these three things to never talk about, religion, politics, and I think it was sex we're not supposed to talk about. And I totally see why politics is one of these things, because this is a real dirty, disgusting, backstabbing game you can ever play. And I this is why I don't play this thing. You know what I mean? It's like you said earlier, honestly, there's no honor amongst thieves, honestly. So this is what this political game and forum is like.
Yes, sir. You know the criteria to being a politician?
No.
Dishonesty.
Ooh.
Dishonesty. Poly is many.
Yeah.
And a tick is a bloodsucker.
Yeah.
So if you're into politics, that's what you have to do. And it's of the poor, bloodsuckers of the poor.
Mm.
Because everybody that's in politics are rich for the most part. And the further and further you go up the ladder of politics, the far removed you are from the people.
That's facts.
Just imagine, if you're the mayor, you live in the city, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You got to live in a city to be the mayor of that city.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor lives in the city. Now, if he wants to be a congressman or a senator, he got to live anywhere in the state. He's a governor, he got to live anywhere in the state. But if you move up that ladder, the more and more you move up the ladder of politics, the far removed you are from the people.
Yeah.
So they don't give a damn about the people.
No.
Moving up that ladder.
It's almost like a prerequisite. Like you can't. It's almost like if you're going to be the mayor or the senator, you can't. One of the prerequisites, you cannot care about the people. You have to care about us and only us. It's a really cold game, man. I can't play it.
Yeah, some are willing to play it though.
Harris and Tim Walz, but I just need you to go and vote, participate in this election, be that CEO in that moment, and do your job.
That's it. Want to hear from Quentin James?
Malcolm X told us that the most disrespected, unprotected, and neglected person in this country is a black woman. And we watched Donald Trump call my Howard alum sister, Vice President Kamala Harris, my AKA Divine Nine sister Kamala Harris, a bitch. If that pisses you off, brother, I need you to do one thing. Go to votetolive.org, find out what's on your ballot, where you need to go vote, and actually get a free ride to go vote if you need an Uber to get to the polls. We are providing that for you. Go to votetolive.org. Let's protect our black women and show up to vote.
You're gonna be real safe after y'all vote. Oh, they're gonna be safe, boy.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you vote, oh, they're gonna be safe, bro.
Oh yeah.
Voting gonna build a fortress around those sisters.
Man, golden fences. Wait, golden Divine Nine fences is going to be built for all of the sorority sisters. And if you're not a sorority sister, you don't get a gate. Like, stop, man.
Yes, sir.
And of course, I really want to hear from this gentleman. Keith Boykin, what are your final thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, thank you, BET, and thank you, DL, for providing this opportunity for the conversation. And elections are choices. And we have a choice right now. I think this is the clearest choice we've ever seen in a presidential election. On the one hand, we have a man named Donald Trump, who has 34 felony convictions, who has a history of racism from the Central Park Five to his black casino workers to being sued for racial discrimination in the 1970s to his lies about Barack Obama's birth certificate to the fact that he was impeached twice and tried to...
Salute to my brother, Warfare K. Thanks for tapping in, good brother.
Start an insurrection to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
Come on.
And on the other hand, we have a talented black woman who started her career as a district attorney, became...
Don't forget about locking brothers up. Don't forget about that. Don't forget about locking sisters up when her child was sick and couldn't go to school, and she locked the mother up because she called the child a truant. Don't forget about that.
And let's...
State Attorney General became United States...
What's that, good brother?
Look, I want to know, what talent are you referring to? Do you know what I mean? Are you talking talent like talent, or are you talking law talent? I really want to know what talent you are talking about.
Because you know, she popped out of nowhere as far as like on this level, you know, and she's been involved in questionable activities as a younger person, you know what I'm saying? But she locked some brothers and sisters up for the same thing that she's doing. She's on the Breakfast Club talking about how much we give people joy, but she was locking people up for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How you gonna lock somebody up for stuff that you did? That's crazy. And that's the mockery of it all.
States Senator and then became the Vice President of the United States, is the most qualified person in this race, perhaps the most qualified person to run for president because she has experience at the state, local, and federal level. And she also has experience in the...
How could she be qualified more than someone who actually held the office. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop. How's the vice president more qualified than someone who was actually president? Stop. And that's the thing. No one's there to challenge him. Everybody's on the same side. So if this was a fair summit, you would have people to challenge what these men are saying. But nobody's there to challenge them.
No. There's not even a fact checker there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Judicial branch from working as a prosecutor, and the executive branch from working as the vice president, and the legislative branch from working as a United States Senator. Who else has that experience? This is a choice. I just hope. This is a choice. I just hope that we look at these two people and we choose wisely.
Yes. First off, I'd like to thank you, BET, President B.
And this is somebody that, you know, I don't rock with neither candidate, you know, no party, the jackass or the elephant, because again, it's impossible for two wings to be on the same bird to fly in a different direction. Impossible. There's no way they can fly in a different direction when they're on the same bird. So, you know, but again, between the two of them, I don't know who's going to become president, but I know, as far as my observation, who is the more competent person? That's Donald Trump, and he's not even competent at all.
And I say this, look, and you know, there's too many people that are, let's per se say, woken up. Like they've seen so many plays before. So this is kind of scary in a way, you know, kind of scary that if Kamala wins now, enemies public, look, Kamala wins. Hey man, these MAGA hats, they're gonna go ballistic. When I say ballistic, I mean chaotic.
You know, I'm not going to say they're not, because, you know, they act like that, brother. They do behave like that. What the fuck going on around here? And they do behave like that.
Yeah.
Those straw chewing, overall wearing, straw hat wearing dudes, they do behave like that. And we'll see what happens if she's selected. We'll see. But you know, all I know is I can't commit such a treasonous act, call myself doing it on behalf of our people. When it's really serving to our detriment, I can't do it. I don't have nothing to do with this or what happens between he or her. I don't got nothing to do with it. And I never will have anything to do with it. I'd rather work with our people to affect change. I'd rather work with our people than, because this is not going to affect change, bro. Nope.
No, I say this. With Sister Betty said something 2 years ago, and she said that, you know, the only way we're going to solve this problem, she said that basically we need to have our own businesses. And so if we're going to go that route and have our own businesses, the one that's in the CEO of the corporation better be business savvy. Because if the person isn't president, if the person's president and doesn't have this business mind, well then Sister Betty's solution is gonna go to hell in a handbasket.
Brother, I know some people who haven't even went to the 10th grade have successful businesses. You don't take a business degree. You don't take none of that to have a successful business. All it takes is that you want to do it.
Mm.
That's all it takes. We can have several businesses. Peace to my brother, the realist McCoy. Salute to you. Thanks for tapping in. We can have several businesses as individuals. Our problem is that we don't want to come together. That's what it's going to take. The coming together and doing something as a collective. We could have 1 million businesses, but guess what? If we are not together, if we are not doing anything collective, we are not raising ourselves as a people. You over here, this person over there, that person over there. We might even, if we're not trading with each other and we're not contributing to our own salvation, having a business is good, but it's a small part of it. It's what we fail to do together. We have to do things together.
Yeah.
So we can, strike that mighty blow. You know what I mean? Your hands separated, you might can smack the hell out of somebody. Yeah. But bring those fingers together. Ball them up. More powerful that way, bro, than to have your hand open with your fingers separated.
Facts.
Bring ourselves together as we will bring a fist together and strike a mighty blow.
Yeah, and I said this on Big Dog Philly's channel that when you draw a circle, we need to have this dot in the middle to be the focal point, and whoever wants to come and join to fill this dot, slowly but surely this can happen. We don't need, if we're building a community, dealing with food and shelter, the most two important things that we really need, and then we build from that, I think we will do very, very well, because seeing is believing.
My sentiment is, whatever we do, it has to be done collectively. We have too many brilliant thinkers who's not doing anything collectively. Somebody's over here brilliant, somebody's over here brilliant, saying they want the same thing for our people, but are not willing to work together. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the main problem. And then one of us always want to be the standout. Want to be the standout among us. That's one of the problems also.
Yeah.
Somebody want to be the standout. Pam. You know who Pam is, right?
What, for Martin?
No, please acknowledge me. We got people like that around.
Oh.
Want to be acknowledged over everybody else? I call them Pam.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right.
When we all should be working together to establish and affect change and, in a positive manner for our people.
Yeah, I use the example of football. Everybody can't be the quarterback now.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to need some linemen. We're going to need a center. We're going to need some wideouts. We're going to need a tough running back. And then we're going to need a coach. That's how you form a team.
That's how it has to work, because that's everybody playing their position.
Yeah.
That's everybody playing their position. And that's the only way things will work, if everyone played their position to get the job, to get the job done.
Just to get the job done.
That's it.
And it's and real talk, and it's not even that hard. even though it's unifying and doing what we're speaking about isn't difficult at all, but we do have people like Divine Niners running around here, stopping this kind of movement. And so once we deal with this foot on our necks here, we'll flourish.
Yeah, we can't expect people to stop doing what they do on their own. We have to stop them from doing whatever we don't want done. We have to stop them because they're not going to do it on their own. And some of our people think because we tell people that something, that hurts. That's the object of the game. If somebody's doing something that hurts you, they're trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
Somebody smack you, you think I'm gonna smack them soft. No. Trying to knock your eyebrow off your face. Expeditiously, as the brother T.I. would say. If you're gonna do it. For our people, bro, we just have to learn how to work together. If we don't, bro, I say it like this, bro. Either you hang together or you get hung separately.
That's a cold, hard truth right there. And just like the senator said, my guy, what I mean? And as I'm looking at this thing here, for us as a whole, this is it. For us, this is it. If we don't put this together, it's I don't like to add pressure, to everyone, but look, if we don't do this, this is it. That's it. It's this cycle of this the second form of slavery that we're all experiencing here, is going to continue for another 7,000, 10,000 years. So.
Yeah, but when you make a people think they're exercising power, you make them thinking they're exercising power, but they're really not. Salute, peace to my good brother, Executive Sessions. Thanks for tapping in, good brother. They make you think you're exercising some power. You're going out, your vote's counting and all the other nonsense when that's not the reality. Your vote is not counting.
Right.
It's not. They already predetermined what's going to happen, but they make you go out anyway.
Yeah.
They make you go out anyway.
It's the best magic trick I've seen.
Exactly. That hocus pocus is real, brother. And those weapons of mass distraction is too.
Yeah.
They're real.
Look, and let's not play no games with it, because look, they're masters at it now. They've mastered this thing of deception and confusion. You feel me?
Definitely.
Masters.
Definitely. And a lot of our people, we like the we like it. We like it.
Yeah. We like the rabbit out the hat trick. Yeah. You're entertained.
And this is just what this is. They assembled some people, and this is a form of entertainment because it's all of this is performative.
Mm-hmm.
It's performative. Nothing real, genuine about this. With the joking and cracking jokes and trying to sound intelligent and playing the blame game. Look, it's like, if you have credibility, all you have to do is show your credibility. But if you have to say anything about the next person, you try to convince, no, your credibility alone should show people what you can do as a public servant.
Yeah.
That's it. But the slinging, the mudslinging, it's like when people are not sure of what the information that they're giving. If you're sure about the information that you're giving, it should withstand everything. Ridicule, it should withstand questioning, it should withstand all of that and remain intact.
Yeah.
It's the same, you know what I'm saying? It's the same as when you presenting yourself. It should withstand all that and remain intact.
Yeah.
But when you gotta say, oh, this your opponent, talk about your opponent and all that, nah, that's corny. It's corny.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we call you ain't got no game, brother.
Exactly.
You know, and it's you know, I feel the same way with Stephen A. Smith. Like we said, we're outsiders looking in and just looking at the Democratic Party not producing a better candidate than what we are seeing now. Now that is it's beyond disappointing. It's like you couldn't prep someone else.
I mean, you know, the bar has been set and it's low. It's been set as if it's been high. It's just lower. The office, it's been a cesspool since I've been living, but they lowered the bar from being a cesspool. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
It's a cesspool, but they lowered the bar.
Yeah.
That means, you know, Raheem can get out of prison and become president.
Yeah, this is
because you got a man who you got a man who's a convicted felon and was allowed to run. It should have disqualified him. And you got a woman who wiggled her way in, did an illegal tactic. She wasn't in the primary. She didn't win the primary. She was not the nominee. The president was the nominee. He dropped out. They don't automatically move her up. It moves the runner up to him to that spot. But they did something illegal. This is illegal.
This
whole election is illegal, and the people is going for it, bro. They're going for it.
Yeah, it's trying times. It's a really good thing that we're outsiders looking in. And shouts out to all the brothers that were in the summit. You know, I have no hard feelings against you, brothers. You know, we all understand, you know, bills have to be paid, and to make the summit better for next year, brothers, you know, half is going to be Democrat and half will be Republican.
Brother.
Now that would be 100 times better summit than any summit that the brothers have ever put together before. You know, shouts out to them.
You know, we'll be here the next election with the same narrative. You know, I don't know what's going to come up this election. I really don't care. I'm just, you know, having a discussion with my brother of the tactics that they use in attempt to get brothers to vote, not only vote the way they want them to vote by rhetoric. It's all rhetoric. Just rhetoric. False propaganda, performative rhetoric. That's what it is.
Yeah. And see, this is just the face, you know, because if you look at it deeper, if I go into this subject deeper, then I get really, really irate, because what you're really trying to say, you want us to participate, you know, in this witchcraft sorcery thing. We're just going to keep it face value. But that right there is, you want us to participate in this spell? Nah, brothers, come
Yeah.
on. Now.
Yeah,
Let's
that's what
stop
it is.
playing games here.
That's what it is, brother.
You know, what do you think?
And everybody else, and all you gentlemen, because I think this was necessary. I will say this: there is a reason there has never been a female leader of this country. There's a reason there's never been a black female executive of this country. I think because it's very hard. A man gave up power. A white guy, the most powerful man on earth, said, I'm going to give up this power, and I'm going to make sure she has an opportunity to become the first female president of the United States of America. That never has happened before. It is divine presence. It is divine. And it's what we do in this moment, as you said, President Pearson. It is what you said in this moment. It is what we do now that we will judge by. So thank you all very much. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. A shout out to the Black Economic Alliance for their research, for their special. The conversation continues on BET.com and BET Social. Thank you guys. Thank y'all so
much. Brother.
Yeah.
We got through it. We got through it, brother.
But you know what the DL Hughley like? Oh, President Pearson. Oh, they're already prepping. They go make Jesse Jackson a candidate later on in the future. Now
we got through it, brother. You know, and it's like it was hard getting through it without stopping it several times.
Yeah.
You know, because every other sentence was they were saying something outlandish and ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So we had to stop it several times.
Yeah.
You know, there was some real niggerdom, brother.
Yeah, some real ignorant.
Some real ignorant niggerdom.
Yeah. This is Uncle Ruckus at its finest. You know what I mean? Like this is
When Joe Biden picked her, you know, when he picked her, that was the setup, you know, way back then. That was the setup. And he was, you know, he knew he was too old to run again. He knew his illness is sitting in, and that was the setup.
Yeah.
They trying to act like he did something noble by dropping out and all this other foolishness. You know, it's nah.
I'm gonna tell you what
all these people were put in these positions for a reason. All of them.
I'm gonna tell you what really. Now, I ain't even gonna lie to you. This is what really pissed me off when Biden came out and said, "If you don't vote Democrat, you ain't black." I said, no.
Yeah. You know, the litmus test to us being us is whether or not we vote for him. That's audacity, bro.
You know, it's just like almost the same thing. Biden saying that to me is equivalent to what Obama just did. Like, what?
Definitely. You know, he coming to us and telling us that what we do don't sit right with him. You don't sit right with him. That, you know, what I think is you have a problem with a woman becoming president using the sexist thing. You know, come on, stop it. That should have fell on deaf ears. And not only that, the whole entire so-called lecture conversation that he had, it wasn't a conversation because he was talking at them. I don't even know if he allowed anybody to speak besides himself. Not necessarily allowed, because it would have been short-lived if I was there. Because I'd have asked him who the hell he think he can come speak to us. Period.
Yeah,
but he spoke to young brothers because he know those young brothers, when he got out of office, most of them wasn't even in high school yet. When he got out of office. But he know he can't come speak to somebody, you know, 35, 40, my age, you know what I'm saying? almost 60 years old. They can't come and speak. He couldn't have came and spoke to somebody my age or your age. Why? Because we know him. He could speak to those babies who's, in high school or college age, just getting into their adulthood. He can speak to them because they're probably starstruck. Wow, he's coming to speak to us. But he was talking at them. And they were probably more than likely first-time voters. And they would, they was just standing there listening to him while he was wagging his finger in their face and chiding them and talking to them in a chastisement manner. But if they knew who he was, they'd be like, "Look, man, you can't come speak to us, bro. We don't want to hear nothing you got to say, dude. Go ahead, man. You ignored us for 8 years, bro. Now you want to talk to us because you want something from us." It's the same with Kamala Harris. She wasn't talking to none of our people until she wanted something from us, and then she started pandering stereotypically. I like Tupac. I like collard greens. I like hot sauce. I know the latest dance. Funkadelics. I love Parliament Funkadelics. No, stop that.
Stop it.
And then getting entertainers around her, because that's what she see us is. She's pandering to us in a stereotypical manner, and all she would ever see us as is the entertainment.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
To be performative for her.
And here's the thing, like you didn't. You can say that you're Indian. If you weren't being so deceitful, Kamala, we would have still rolled with you. But the facts now come out that that's beyond lying.
Yes.
And I don't know. I think it's beyond deceitful. If there's another adjective out there that's worse than deceitful, Kamala, you fit the bill.
Yes,
from the pictures, from the bloodline, family tree. Oh, this is and you got the brothers in the summit calling you black and sister. Yo.
Yeah, brother, man. I wouldn't care what she was if she was a good person.
That part.
But she's not.
She's not.
I wouldn't care what she was if she was a good person. If she didn't do all the things she did, and she wasn't trying to be so deceitful, you know what I'm saying? And trying to pass herself off as somebody she's not.
Yeah.
Lying about her ethnicity is one thing. That's bad enough. But then you start lying about where you came from, who your parents are, and all that stuff. Lie about everything.
Yeah.
If you was a good person, she was a good person, I wouldn't care what she was.
Yeah.
But just so happens she's not.
No, she's not. Well,
people will say, well, you must be for Trump. No, I'm not, because he's obvious. He's not trying to hide he's the a-hole he is. He's not hiding that. He's obvious.
Yeah.
He's not trying. He let you know he's not your friend. I don't care nothing about you. And he's obvious white. He ain't trying to say, well, I'm a brother. He ain't walking around here bopping, talking about, yeah, man, pandering to each ethnicity he get around. He's not doing that, but she did it. She get around Jamaican. She started man stuff.
Yeah.
Get around Hispanic. She started talking the senorita stuff. She get around, any ethnicity she get around. She start pandering to them, trying to, it's just shameful.
Yeah.
But the polls are more than likely. I know they're closed in New Jersey. They'll be closed in a little while where you're at, in another hour, right? Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
Not that I give a damn, but we'll see.
Yeah. I really don't give it. Look, I haven't watched anything, any of the pre-race or the how many ballots have came in yet. I'm so not interested in anything. But I do know, and I have a hunch. I'm gonna say I feel, Bro.Nasir, I feel like if Kamala wins, yo, there's a lot of people that ain't gonna be happy about that.
Well, what can we say?
I just don't want civil war popping off. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm feeling, that there's something in the air.
I can't say what's going to happen. Civil war, and that's what people are saying. People are saying they're going to be very disgruntled if she wins. But I'm going to let me share my screen real quick, and let us get some election news. Really quick.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, let us get some election news.
This is an ABC News special. Election night in America. Who will be the next president of the United States? From ABC News headquarters in New York, here again, David Muir.
Good evening. As we come back on the air in the West, it's great to have you with us here. ABC News election headquarters here in New York. This is an extremely close race in all of the key battlegrounds. I want to get right to Mary Bruce, covering the vice president, covering the Harris campaign. And basically, you got your hands on a memo that went out to internal staff saying this is going to buckle up. This is going to be a long election.
This email reads like a reality check from the Harris campaign manager to her staff. We've obtained this by ABC News. And she says what we have all been talking about, that they knew this race was going to be razor thin. She says this is exactly what they prepared for, and that their clearest path to 270 remains to be through the blue wall that we've been talking about all night. She says we feel good about what we are seeing. That said,
what is it? They're experiencing technical difficulties, but she's frozen. I know it's not over here. It's not over here. It's not even buffering on my end. That's them.
she is cautioning that this is going to take some time. She runs through those blue wall states, saying in Pennsylvania, they overperformed turnout expectations in Philadelphia. She says they're seeing especially high turnout with large non-white and student populations. And then in Michigan and Wisconsin, she notes, they are still awaiting a significant amount of the vote to come in Michigan, pointing to Detroit, also saying other results in Michigan are harder to parse. In Wisconsin, she points to remaining vote in Dane and Milwaukee counties. And then what she says, David, is what we do know is this race is not going to come into focus until the early morning hours. David, she urges their team to, quote, get some sleep and get ready to close out strong.
John?
But I say that is absolutely the message that we're hearing. Tonight from the Kamala Harris campaign. But I am also talking to Democrats, not precisely on the Kamala Harris campaign, but with very much of vested interest in what's happening here, who are feeling that this is looking very bad for her, who are very concerned about the trends they're seeing, both in those Sun Belt states, concerns about what they're seeing in Wisconsin and seeing
those numbers are not close at all. I'm looking right at them.
No.
Path, sure, not over. It's certainly not over, but seeing it as a very steep and narrow path for Kamala Harris.
And do they recognize?
But
in a lot of these Republican
I can't really say,
counties,
brother.
it's sort of like Donald Trump performing just over the threshold of where he needed to be, and the numbers.
I told you the last election Trump was in, Hillary Clinton was winning. I went to sleep, woke up, Trump was the president.
Yeah.
So I don't, so these people, I know they will rig and they will, they will rig. It's rigged in the first place, but they'll drag it on. You know what I'm saying? They drag it on and have the people, biting their nails. Those of us who are into it, have them biting their nails on the edge of their seat, trying to see who won when it's already predetermined who's going to be the president. All this right here is performative, also, all of it.
Most definitely. And they're gonna be playing with these machines.
Yes, exactly. They're gonna play with these machines, and they're gonna play with the emotions of the people, having them on edge. Yeah, that's what they're gonna do for the next few days, because when it comes to like conceding, oh, Trump don't do that. He don't do that conceding shit, man. He don't do that. Concede to somebody? Nah, bro. You're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Last time he conceded, he sent some people. He told them to go over there and act a fool, and they did it.
Then they right.
They
Yeah,
did
right.
it.
Yo, that was crazy when he was like, "Oh, good old boys, stand down." I was just like, "What? You really burnt out here."
States. It's not necessarily sort of the urban centers where they thought Kamala Harris would do well. As Rick has shown us, she has done well in a lot of those areas. It's in the Republican counties where he's done better than he did 4 years ago, and in some cases is doing better than he did in 2016.
Which is astounding, because he did far better than anybody anticipated in both of those presidential cycles, in those rural, deep red Republican areas. So yes, that's the primary factor here, is Trump really appears to be turning out his voters and turning them out at a level perhaps even exceeding what they expected. But there are pockets where she's not doing as well. You look in Wisconsin, that area around Madison, Dane County, she's done very well. She has to do very well, but she's fallen short of where Joe Biden was. Milwaukee, again, a lot of votes still be counted in Milwaukee, but so far what's coming in, not as well as Joe Biden did. Same thing we're seeing in the area around Charlotte, in Mecklenburg County in North Carolina. So a lot of deep concerns among Democrats, very vested in this campaign. Although, to be sure, as you've heard from Mary, the campaign, the Harris campaign, still very much sees a path and says this is going to be long and we need to be patient. And I think when they say long, they don't mean a long night, they mean a long week.
Yeah. All right.
All right, enough of that bull stuff. Enough of that. My brother, this was a good build. Once again, we got to do more.
Yeah.
And it's 11 o'clock here, after 11 o'clock here. And your brother been up. It's the second 11 o'clock that I've been out of my bed today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's been 11 o'clocks since I laid down. So that's what I need to do.
No, I feel you, brother. And Nasir, I appreciate you having me, man. This was a great breakdown of the fraternity divine nine mindset that we're dealing with here. You feel me?
Yeah.
Shouts out to those brothers, man. We do still love you now.
Yeah, we love you.
Just because we questioning your, whoever's paying you to say these things, you know what I mean? You gotta know that we're going to do that.
Exactly.
You gotta know that. But shouts out to all of them, man. It's
we love you. Well, we gotta get you.
Yeah, we got issues.
Don't mean we don't love you, but we gotta get you. Gotta get you.
Yeah. Because all we really can do, really, as time goes on, is we all gonna have to stand on this truth now.
Yes, sir.
The minute that you deter off of that, this is where problems arise. This is where issues start to come up, like the issue I'm having You know, so I'm always going to stand on this truth, no matter what. I'm not swaying from this truth here. You know, and the truth is that I don't know if we can really call you divine 9.
I don't
Because the
know
way
what to
that
call
y'all
them.
are acting today is not divinely. So
Just you know, we could just call them 9.
yeah, just call it 9s.
9. Just call them 9. I don't know what to call them, divine, or you know, I don't know, but I can't use that word towards them. Just say it's 9 of them.
Yeah, there's 9. There's 9 of y'all.
And I want to thank all the kinfolk, the brothers and sisters, for joining us and hanging out with us for a little while as we discuss BET's Black Men's Vomit.
Yes.
You know, on election day, well, selection day, we're gonna, you know, they're gonna select the new president of this corporation.
Yeah.
You know, of this this is a corporation. The Trilateral Commission and the multinational corporations, they wanted a new president, and they had to have somebody to run that. So they're going to choose. They have chosen, but they just letting us wait and see who they chose. And I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening.
Yeah, shouts out to all of you guys, man.
Shout out to everybody.
Everyone, man. And
Everyone.
I hope no one vomited during this whole ordeal here. Because I almost did.
I hope we did our job.
We did our job. We did our
As
job.
far as we dealing with this, I hope we did a good enough job for the brothers and sisters dealing with this situation. And again, my brother T. Riggles, I appreciate you, you know, joining me and helping me out with this analysis.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and I will be in touch because we got other things that we have to discuss.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And trust me, Bro.Nasir, right? When we meet, trust me when I say this. You know, I got big plans.
Yes, sir.
Got big plans. You feel me? And you know, I'm looking for my tribe, the ones that think like me, move like me. You feel me? So, you
Indeed.
know, you're part of my little manifestation I got going here. So
Yes, sir.
Much love to you and the fans, bro. Like real talk.
Yes, sir. And I'm happy to be a part of that, brother. You know what I'm saying? That makes us family. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And then I tell you right now, you know, I'm you know, for everybody that's, you know, been around, you know, I'm extremely loyal.
Yes,
extremely loyal.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
that's all I know. I don't know any other way. You feel me? And so, like you said earlier, like the only way I know how we're going to do this, we're gonna have to do this together, man.
That's it.
There's no other way.
That's it. That's it. If not, brother, you know they get you one by one. If you're separated, they get you one by one.
One by one.
You stand together, they're less likely to even run up because you're together. We got to stick together. That's it.
That's it.
Until next time, brethren, I say peace.
Peace.
And power.